As a child, did you ever dream of a zoo beyond your wildest imagination? Where you could take a tour of the savannas of Africa? Where you can learn and meet creatures you never thought existed up close, except in the wild? Creatures of the snowy tundras of Arctic, masterpieces from land down under, or the very beauty the wild has to offer? If anyone in this audience has ever had that dream, you're not alone. For there are two distinct places that answer that, and they happen to lie in the city of San Diego, California. The San Diego Zoo and the San Diego Zoo Safari Park have always been in my mind for 7 years. And let me tell you, the things from these kingdoms have left me speechless but happy. There's so many topics to discuss, like an exhibit where penguins and sharks in the same exhibit swim together side by side. But I want to go over why you should visit these two zoos. If you ever visit them, you'll be surprised by their history, how they managed to save species, which species they've managed to save from extinction, and how your visit will leave you and your children speechless and amazed. And from 2015 to 18, my sister and I have visited California with my grandparents when they used to live in California. They now live here in Austin, Texas. But if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have loved San Diego and the zoos they have. So this speech goes out to them. I strongly encourage everyone to visit California. Not for the zoos, but to check out everything else. Its connection to nature, its culture, and its lovely beaches. So, first off, we should discuss history. This is kind of a biggie with both of them, but I'll try to recount the best of them as I can according to my sources. Around October 2nd, 1916, from what Wikipedia says, Dr. Harry M. Wedgworth founded the Zoological Society of San Diego, basically what would become the San Diego Zoo. Formerly known as the Panama, California Exposition. Here's where the zoo grew, for after it was abandoned a year before Wedgworth revitalized it, it had exotic animals abandoned after the exposition was shut down. But why did he decide to start a zoo there? Well, he heard a lion roar, and it gave him an idea to start a journey that still inspires others today. From his own words, he said, "Wouldn't it be wonderful to have a zoo in San Diego? I believe I'll build one." That was why for the centennial in 2016, a colorful lion was used. The very same animal that inspired Wedgworth to start the zoo. But now we have that out of the way, it's time to discuss the safari park. Around 1964, the San Diego Zoological Society became interested in developing what would become the safari park, the Wild Animal Park. Originally proposed as a breeding facility for large animals and ungulates, large-hoofed animals, it began to lean onto being an zoo exhibiting animals in their natural environments instead of cages. After many delays, on May 10th, 1972, the zoo was open to the public. Hosting animals from the wilds of Africa and Asia, it has become the largest tourist attraction in San Diego. And just recently, too, on May 10th of this year, the zoo celebrated its 50-year anniversary of its hard-working journey. But this is the history of these zoos. But what species have they managed to save from extinction? Well, first to start off with is the California condor, the largest land bird of North America. For what safari park's history as told in the 80s, the California condor was on the brink of its extinction due to agricultural chemicals, poisoning, lead poisoning, poaching, and habitat destruction. Originally, 22 remained in the wild, resulting in the government starting a conservation program to capture all individuals to save the species. The San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance received permission to commence the first captive propagation program for the condors. Thanks to their work and the California Condor Recovery Program, more than 500 now soar the skies of California, free once again in the wilds. But on the ground, the Arabian oryx is another animal that the zoo has managed to save. According to Safari Park, originally found in the Arabian Peninsula and the Sinai Desert of Egypt, the species became extinct in the wild due to overhunting. And in 1972, the first oryx arrived for Operation Oryx, a breeding program contempt with saving the Arabian oryx. And thanks to the combined efforts of the San Diego Zoo and the Safari Park, almost 400 were born at the park, with many being reintroduced to Oman and Jordan to revitalize their wild ranges. But now we have some of the species out of the way. Imagine yourself being there, seeing all these wonders the zoos have to offer. Your children will be amazed at what they have to offer, and you'll be left speechless afterwards. One of the most iconic attractions of the safari park is its Africa Tramps, guided tour rides that take you around its iconic African plains. The San Diego Zoo Safari Park ensures that you have a chance to learn about the wildlife of Africa, giving you and your children a chance to learn more about what it simulates. And I've been on this tour 4 times, as long as I can remember. And again, if it wasn't for my grandmother, I wouldn't have learned about what Africa has to offer, and I wouldn't have come to love it. And kids, meanwhile, will have the opportunity to learn about the wilds of planet Earth through the San Diego Zoo's recent exhibit, Wildlife Explorers Base Camp. And this is something before my time. There was still a children's zoo over there, but I might have to give it a visit. But according to a KPBS article, it was built on the former children's zoo. Again, this was when I stopped visiting in 2018. Targeted to teach children about the different environments and wildlife around the world. From what Daniela Miller said, a mother of 4, when she brought her children to the zoo, she said that it gives them a place to get out their energy so they can be focused more when we want to stop and learn something. And it makes the learning fun, like they see the squirrel monkeys right here. So that's how you and your children will be left speechless. And these are the reasons why I strongly encourage all of you to take a trip to San Diego and try these 2 zoos out. Either this Christmas or next summer. I hope you decide to take a trip to San Diego. That's all I have to say. Thank you.